CoIN, Understanding TCS's Global Open Innovation Initiative. This session is going to be moderated and led by Anju Midha, who is the Innovation Consultant at TCS. I will let Anju introduce the panelists to you. So over to you, Anju.
Introduction, and thanks a lot, TiE, for inviting us to discuss TCS Global Open Innovation Initiative. So let me quickly give you a background what COIN is and what we do, and then I will introduce our global head and going forward the two startups which we are having with us. So TCS launched its Co-Innovation Network, which we call COIN, way back in 2006. The Co-Innovation Network in TCS is a network of startups and academic institutions that we collaborate with in order to bring added value to our customers. Many of our customers, many of the enterprises that we work with, we see that they are adopting agile methodologies and are open to collaborative business processes. So we bring in innovative technologies that is being done by startups around the world. We scout innovative startups with disruptive solutions from different ecosystems that might be Silicon Valley in the US, that might be Israel, UK, and many other places like Singapore, India. So we position these startups in front of our customers, help provide cutting-edge solutions, and help our customers in their digital transformation journey. So that is the reason why Co-Innovation Network is so important to the business of TCS. We believe in open innovation, but I think how we work together in the ecosystem, how we collaborate with each other, how to make a win-win situation for both startup and corporate is also an integral part and makes a difference. So with that note, let's hear more about TCS Co-Innovation Network from Mr. Raju Goteti, who is the Vice President and Global Head of Co-Innovation Network. So over to you, Raju.
Hello all. Thank you for inviting me for this conference titled Ideas. Really happy to talk about TCS Co-Innovation Network and share some insights that may be beneficial to all in the audience who are probably already full of ideas by now. And the title of the presentation also, the whole conference also is Innovation, Design and Entrepreneurship. Such a fantastic topic. So I would like to set the stage by saying that, look, all of us in this conference, when we think about innovation, design and entrepreneurship, are in a kind of a car race. Okay, it is, let's say, something like a Formula One car race going on. And all the startups out here, are your individual cars, right? With your own design. One is a Porsche, one is a Mercedes, one is a Nissan, one is a Tata car. And you're racing in not a known terrain. It's not like a terrain which you see all the time. It is like ups and down hills, in the nice hilly terrain of a forest in India. That's where I think, we should look at when we start framing this whole concept about where is all this going, especially given the pandemic. In a normal world, we would have startups interacting with the industry and through various accelerators, through various, places and where people actually congregate and presentations, happen all the time. But where the action really happens is the conversations next to in a coffee shop, where you really discuss, what's that, powerful idea that you're working on. And I think that is interesting to see, should we look at these networks, which all of us have, are they frozen or are they really active? How do you enable them to be active? And what is the way to do it? So here I was going to say that, the COIN Accelerator, COIN for Co-Innovation Network, is now pretty much over the last 1.5 years, a virtual global accelerator. We also have in a very physical format, this COIN Accelerator, which is there in our passport locations, such as in Cornell Tech, University of Cornell Tech. There is a whole passport out there. And similarly, University of Tokyo in Japan, etc., etc. So what is this coin DNA about? What is open innovation? And let me put my slide here for one moment. Trying to learn a bit about. Can somebody confirm that they are seeing the slide?
Yeah, it's up, Raju.
Thank you. If you see Henry Chesborough's definition, okay, he basically said that open innovation is the principle is such that there are all kinds of smart people who work for us within an organization, but there are so many outside the organization, and one does not have to really do all of innovation and research from inside the organization. It is better to partner, better to make the best of the internal and external ideas, and see in what ways we can mutually profit by each other. Another way of looking at a network-based, organization is to see that, look, we are all in a pretty much like a network. And what differentiates between one's organization to an outside organization is, of course, it is about the legality of an organization. It is about the IP of the organization. There are enough barriers, but at the same time, there are lots of unbarriers. And that's, I think, the way we should think about when we look at innovation-based networks. Now, coming back to our car race, we have just that little bit of time when we stop at a pit stop where there is time for refreshing, time for reflection, time for ensuring that, look, how do I make sure that I'm back in the race? This is the time to think about, is there a time for pivoting what is happening out here or not? Is there a time for understanding, is the value proposition that I'm putting together valid or not? What we do in COIN is to provide the opportunity for startups to create value along with our customers. So we help them show the client context, share the client context, and get all the relevant stakeholders involved. The DNA is first an intrinsic drive to create value, creating the stakeholder context, inspired teams, and continuous value creation. And there is, of course, the reach and the race to delivery. That's the car race I'm talking about. Think about the car race at all times. So this is the development space where ideas and innovative solutions come together. They come from startups, they come from employees, they come from customers, and it creates a certain kind of a runway for all to reaching the goal of making business impact or social impact or whatever kind of impact that is required in that given context. The signature of this whole program is based on trust and relationship. For the startups, it is for them to build the presence and the brand within that ecosystem. There have been great results that we have got in COIN. It is known to all the stakeholders who are active in it. The entire TCS is aware of it, and it's a very large organization. And it is important for us, even by saying that we are collaborative. It is now even reflecting in the TCS brand promise, which is building on belief. This brand promise is about shared purpose that benefits our clients through breadth of reach, through involvement, innovation, ability to harness collective knowledge, and measure impact in this whole transformational journey. When we interact with startups, we have various kinds of engagement models. One of the things that we don't do is invest in startups. And we think that it's a great strength because there are enough VCs in the world whom we can also refer startups to. There are lots of collaborations, as I was saying, and one of the basic methods of showing value is through proof of concepts. And that's where everything matters. Let me kind of say it is one of the pit stops. At that time, when you have the time to demonstrate in front of our customers, it is important that the best face of what the value proposition is comes out. There are models by which a startup can provide, along with the solution from TCS, for example, a startup can plug into an existing TCS platform, which is out there. And there are many other models. Okay. Let me now reflect on few key points which, given the conference theme on ideas, I think is important to think about as I share our experience of startups in Coin. One, it is important to have a mindset of learning all the time. While the startups are coming with specialized knowledge, it is important to learn on the go. Because here, what's happening is it's about the combined knowledge of the startup, of TCS, of the customer, and all the stakeholders in the context. Second, the implementation of the POC, whether the POC is kind of, it's a go or a no go, both are, first of all, great learning points. And the implementation of the POC has to have that value which has been learned in the context. So those are the main 3 points which I wanted to make a mention about. And because POCs are developed as a result of various functional requirements, and there are different views that happen by different stakeholders when they see a particular POC, because there are various interests that are involved. And I think I should also make a mention that there is a huge team out here within TCS who are called as innovation champions or industry champions, who really take these startups and mentor them in the whole process of ensuring success for all the stakeholders within this program. The engagement takes its own trajectory. Once you are engaged, there is kind of a path dependence. Every stakeholder must be able to maximize their benefits, and every stakeholder must be able to create that value in a very active fashion. And there will be always new methods of demonstrating value that happens all the time. Let me start, say by, one more thing, and then I'll start concluding that when you look at this pit stop based, thinking, and we have, by the way, a LinkedIn post on the Coin Business Accelerator, please have a look at it. You can, Google in LinkedIn, but using my name or Coin Business Accelerator or some of the speakers in this particular conference, and see how it is articulated. 15 seconds, that's all the time we have got on a LinkedIn view. More than 15 seconds, people will not see. Does it ensure the attention of the viewers? This is the same startup idea, so same startup idea for all of us who are in this innovative world. I was doing a Google today morning about how many views is it just to an open innovation, co-innovation. There are 856 million views. So innovation is there everywhere. We're all living in it. And therefore, it is important for us to figure out what is that specific kind of DNA that we want to have in order for us to not only first survive, but also be able to mentor so many others who are really driving in this speed of on that NASCAR track, right? So let all the constant source of ideas flow, and to all the startups, all the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Raju. Thank you for elaborating our startup collaboration model and talking about the POCs. We are taking a lot of initiatives at TCS. As Raju just mentioned, we embarked TCS Coin Business Accelerator program last year, in which we have 60 plus partners in the first cohort. And I'm happy to have 2 of them here with us in the panel today. We have Mr. Vivekanand Venugopal, who is the Global Vice-President-GSI Business at Cohesity. And we also have Mr. Steve Matter, who is the Channel and Alliances Manager from Core. Core has a chatbot solution. So as we go forward in a coming few minutes, We would hear more from them about their disruptive solution and their whole experience in collaborating with us. So let's begin with Cohesity. Vivek, please tell us about your solution.
Thank you, Anju and Raju, and thank you for good evening to everyone, and thank you for inviting us to participate in this conference. And happy to showcase Cohesity and the journey thus far, and very specifically, the partnership that we have with TCS. So with your permission, if it's okay, I would like to share my screen.
Sure, please. Yeah, it's up.
All right, so I think I'm going to have you visualize a situation that you all are very familiar with, and that is the big problem of data. So we all are very familiar with data. It's a very valuable resource. It's a huge asset to the business. But we all know, managing it has become very difficult. And more importantly, it's very complex, it's very expensive. And if you don't manage your data very effectively, then it could have a big impact on your business, and even a big impact to the social infrastructure, and a very big impact to the country and the worldwide citizen as well, right? So let me help you visualize what the big problem is. So if you look at all your data today and the enterprise data today, it's scattered across the clouds, it's scattered across data centers, it's scattered across edge locations and devices. And this data is trapped in aging infrastructure and applications that hinder IT's ability to deliver operational SLAs to the business, let alone support the business. So it's a serious problem that we all experience, and we define this problem as mass data fragmentation. So what did we do to solve this problem? We went ahead and redefined data management. And we really went and took ideas from what I call as the software-defined principles used by cloud hyperscalers to manage the world's consumer data, and adapted them to what I call as bring it into the enterprise. So if you look at Cohesity today, we believe that simplicity is the foundation for modern data management. And our goal is to radically help organizations simplify how they manage the data. And what that really means is today, the Cohesity Helios eliminates all these silos of data traps and gives you one single platform. And this platform helps you to protect your data. And through a software-defined abstraction process, we abstract all aspects of data management today and give you one consistent enterprise data management layer, whether your data is in the cloud, or whether your data is in the data centers, or whether in edge locations, you get to manage it holistically. And what we've also done is we've given this control to the customers in terms how they would like to exploit this platform, whether they would like to go ahead and manage it themselves through a software subscription license, or come through digital integration partners like TCS and have them manage this data for you. Or you could come to Cohesity through a SaaS offering, or it could be all three put together, depending on what your business really requires. So if you look at the key tenet, as I mentioned, it's software abstraction. So what it does is it gives you the ability to not just look at data protection, which is an expensive insurance sitting idle most of the time. You now start to add value to your data. So you protect your data, make it highly available across the enterprise. Second is you monetize this data through value-added apps and services. And then you further drive cost savings by leveraging other data management functions like data security, file and object services. We're also looking at capabilities to do DevOps within the same platform. And since you have all the data in one single platform, you now monetize your data to drive new business outcomes. So the entire value of this proposition is very simple. Number one, make your IT organization efficient, make your business more resilient, and drive down costs significantly as you adopt each of these data management disciplines that's available on this platform. And because of this platform today, we have been recognized by top analysts across the globe as an industry leader across the entire data management spectrum. And if you see, we have the top tier investors partnering with Cohesity, and many of the tech companies that you see out there are OEMs of Cohesity technology. They take the Cohesity technology and provide new services and solutions to the customers. But more importantly, you see out here, a great digital integrator like TCS has bought in Cohesity into their Coin Business Accelerator program. And this platform, has provided us significant opportunities to be part of the innovation platform that's provided by TCS, and more importantly, help us, co-create and have access to not just their tech teams, but more importantly, their digital transformation practitioners, and more importantly, access to their business and industry experts who provide us that valuable advice in terms of how do we now not just solve the problems of today, but also look at the problems of tomorrow and provide a path for the customers.
Sorry to interrupt here. Just kindly wrap up quickly. We are running out of time.
Yeah, I think that's a very brief introduction about Cohesity, what we are, what we do, and why we are out there in the business.
Thanks, Vivek. So I'm now taking a move to our next partner, Core. So Steve, if you could also tell us about Core Solution, but since we are short of time, you need to make it very quick.
I guess if I get off mute, that'd be a little easier, right? So, hey, thanks so much for, first of all, I want to say thank you to TCS for inviting us, Core, to speak today. We're really grateful to be here. And, what do we do? So we're like, think of us as kind of, you can say the terms virtual assistant, you can say chatbot, you can say conversational AI, but think of us as a conversational interface in front of your applications. You think about today where customers, employees need to talk, need to get answers from themselves. And that's the problem we're solving. I mean, especially with in this COVID era where you call up the phone to the call center and they say, hey, it's 45-minute wait. But what if you could get your answers right away and say, even the simple things like, hey, I need to know what my bank balance is. Often today's culture does not want to go stand in line. They don't want to get into a call center and wait 45 minutes. They want to get accurate answers right away. And that's what Core does for us. So what do we do? Think of us as the ability to have a conversation with your end customer. So simple examples might be, hey, as I said, what's my bank balance? Well, what if Core, and think of us as Core, is that we're managing that conversation. We're understanding what they're saying. We are going to the back end systems and getting the answers they need, and then having that conversation go back and forth till it's accomplished where they're at. Now, we've been an organization for about 6 years, and worked with over 100 of the global Fortune 500 companies, have looked at our technology and realized the value that we add in all types of scenarios, whether that's customer facing, like I mentioned, whether that's employee facing, but we're out there creating a conversational interface that is solving problems and saving companies money. So that's a quick overview of some of the work that we're doing, but thanks. I'll pass it back to you.
Thank you, Steve, for making it really very quick. Vivek and Steve, I'm curious to know about your experience of collaborating with TCS. If you can talk about your journey so far.
I think, Anju, it's been a very successful and rewarding experience for Cohesity. And the reason I say we got off to a great start being part of this partnership is I think the cultures of both organizations align very well. You know, it's the culture of customer obsession focused on their success. It's the innovation mindset that's available across both companies. And I think we are maniacal around customer success and learning from thought leaders like TCS, who are addressing, broader business problems for customers. So that's a learning that we walk away with. We're just a tech company. We don't know the business as much and as well as you do. And we don't have the appropriate, what I call as the pathways or the frameworks to address customers' business challenges. So the partnership with TCS has helped us understand that much better and also redefine our pathways and, more importantly, our technology roadmaps based on inputs that you all have given us.
So at this point, Vivek, I have a follow-up question. I would like you to talk about how this collaboration benefited you, what impact it made on your business, what is the value you are able to create being in the TCS network?
I think the value can be quantified very easily. Number one, our business has grown significantly because of the TCS brand. It's given us access to the top 100 global customers and be a part of the digital transformation programs that you all are driving for customers. And more importantly, it has helped us co-design solutions together, focused around that innovation mindset. And a classic example would be, the way we have designed this agile, autonomous, resilient architecture, which delivers modern data management as a service to enterprise customers as part of the overall digital transformation programs for customers to monetize their data and drive new business outcomes. Those are some of the value-added benefits that we've got in partnership with TCS.
It's really satisfying to hear about your experiences. So, Steve, we would also like to know about your journey so far with TCS and how has this collaboration benefited you?
Anju, we are ready.
Yeah, just 2 more minutes.
Okay, great. Just 3 quick things here. First of all, is you got your global reach. I mean, we're a global organization as well. You guys are worldwide. And that's made a big difference because, as a small organization that has been growing, how do we handle in terms of the implementations? You guys are there, you're in these countries, and you've been an amazing partner in terms of, we can bring these resources, we can bring the solution, but you guys have been able to understand the customer problems and really implement this in a really good way. The other thing, the last thing I'd like to say is that you guys are very proactive, because I'm getting calls every day going, hey, Steve, I think there's a really good opportunity here. Let's work together. Let's make this thing happen. And I've really appreciated about that, what your teams bring to us in terms of your reach and your ability to bring us into organizations. So you guys have been a great organization to work with.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Steve. It has been indeed a pleasure to work with you and Cohesity as partners, and we intend to continue our growth story together. At TCS, we strive to ensure a good partner experience along with a good customer experience. In fact, on the same lines, TCS has recently rebranded from Experience Certainty to Building on Belief. So thank you, Vivek and Steve, for joining us today. And a big thank you to Raju for being with us and sharing insights on open innovation and TCS co-innovation. Thank you. Thank you so much. Over to you, Smita.